So nice to meet you all. Just before I begin, who heard about BTCPay before outside of this meeting? Okay. Who used it? Okay. Okay. So I will. So my plan for today was like to showcase how to install on Raspberry Pi. But there is one painful thing with Raspberry Pi is that you need to be connected to internet, and like find your Raspberry Pi on the network. It's a bit pain in the ass. But if I have time, I will show you. If not, actually, I will show you how to install BTCPay on any. So like it's not that big of a deal. I wanted to use Raspberry Pi because we are in UK and apparently it's from UK, so I thought it was a good opportunity. Yeah, other question, who is developer normally, working as developer in everyday life? Okay. So, who know basically kind of all the feature of BTCPay? Yeah, SK of course. So is SK in our chat? SK is one of the first. I think you are maybe the first third-party host that exists in BTCPay. So basically, BTCPay you can very easily install it by yourself, but like some people just want like to accept Bitcoin payment without installing anything. So you can do it very easily by trusting a third-party server like his that is called BTCPay Jungle. So if it interests you, there is like stickers here that you can take on the way out. Like if you just want to receive BTCPay without Lightning, you can just use this service just fine. It will work. If something go wrong, you can ping him directly on the Slack. It's so no problem. But I will just do a basic show off of the feature there is, and then after I will show you how to install it. I will showcase you how to install it yourself, and yeah, like everything, like what has been think in the design, and like if you want to modify it, how do you do, or this kind of stuff. Basically, that you have good understanding of how everything is like plugged together. How the various pieces are plugged together. So like, normally in BTCPay, the first time you install it, you have this page, you have a register here, you can create your own accounts. On my side, I will use my accounts. Okay. So in BTCPay, everything that you do has a concept of store. So BTCPay store is basically where you will like configure everything, like in the checkout page, what kind of design you want, on which wallet you want to receive the money, that kind of configuration. So like for example, on my own server, so like this is my prod server. So if you go to our store demo that was set up, that is here. Like it's a store demo based on WordPress, this one actually. This store demo is like configured to use my store in BTCPay. And a quick look of how it looks like. So in settings here. So like for each store, you have various settings that you can set up. The interesting one are the derivation schemes. So derivation scheme is, imagine that you have your own hardware wallet or Electrum wallet. You can have derivation scheme. It basically tells to BTCPay how to generate addresses. So basically everything that goes donation to this store go basically directly inside my hardware wallets. So that's why you can trust Eski to provide a third-party service, because actually it never learn about your keys. What he learns about though is your addresses, so he can track what you're receiving basically, but he cannot steal your money. There is also some configuration for Lightning. I will come back here later. What else interesting? So you have a sort of scripting engine to know how to calculate the rate change. So at the level of the API, you decide the invoice in fiat, and here it's like you define the rules of how you convert this into Bitcoin. So here, for example, it's very flexible. So here it's a rule that say, so if I wanted a specific rule, for example, for BTC GPY, so for Japanese yen, for example, I can say, okay, use I don't know, Bitflyer. It's a Japanese exchange, BTC GPY. So like, for example, it's very flexible. So if I put those two rules, maybe I should zoom a little bit. If I put those two rules, it basically means if the currency pair is BTC GPY, use Bitflyer. For all the rest, use coin average. So like, it's kind of very flexible system, like to configure. There is interesting things like the checkout experience, like if you want your logo, your custom CSS. So actually, people don't even have to know that they are using BTCPay under the hood. This kind of stuff. And when you configure your store, actually, you have like various things that you can do directly into BTCPay. So there is this concept of apps. So right now there is two different type of apps that is directly coded into BTCPay. So one of them is like the donation. So for example, I have my donation page here. Here it's look. Like you can do very easily a kind of donation page like this. So yeah. So whatever you want to send, you just click. So for example, if I want coffee, you can easily set up, no programming skill. Like you have your own invoice, and like people can pay me some sushi or something. They can, if they want, they can use Lightning here, Lightning payments. They can easily switch. So like you can really do this page without any programming skills. Just so you can see the settings here. Like you can, it's a sort of WYSIWYG. You can add your product, just add an image, a small description, and that's it. It's all, yeah.
So are you also developing this Lightning layer, or is all third-party code?
No, so I'm not developing the Lightning layer, but I depend on. So I will explain a bit what I mean in the background, because like what you're seeing here is only BTCPay, but actually when you install BTCPay, there is so many components that are installed with it. And one of them are like Lightning implementation. So right now I support LND and C-Lightning. I hope to do Eclair, but right now their API sucks a little bit, so I'm a bit waiting. But hopefully they will do something good soon. Yeah, you also, this page, donation page that you had seen, like actually you can very easily embed it into another web page if you want. Like it generates the code here that you can just copy paste on your website. So very easily customizable. And another big feature as well that has been created very recently is a crowdfunding app. So crowdfunding app looks like this. So I don't have one here, but I think in my history I should have some. Yeah. So for example, the guy that created this crowdfunding app, like you can very easily set up a page like this. So the guy that did the crowdfunding app, crowdfunding himself with the crowdfunding app. So basically he coded it, he shipped it, and then he asked people for money. And like, for example, this is the page, the demo page he showed, and like he managed to reach it. There is some cool stuff, like I don't have internet here, but it's one feature we did. Some people say it's a bit of featured creep, but actually every time that you pay this page, like you have a Quake sound that is playing. So like if you pay $1 donation, you will like multi-kill, something like this. But everybody opening this page will also hear this. So it's I think it's a pretty fun feature. So yeah, just to show you very rapidly how it looks like. So basically, you have a very easy WYSIWYG here that you can put to embed images or like whatever HTML code that you want. You know, when it starts, when it's over, like it's very easily customizable. You can put your own CSS. So like, you have various pages that you can do as you want. Do I have other example? So there was this one, I think. Yeah, another example of I think it's like, I don't remember. I think it was Satoshi's Place guy that was playing with this. Another one. So another one, for example, one guy like is working on making a video for BTCPay, introductory video, and so basically he's like every week he's like twitching himself, like working on it, and then at the same time he has like a donation page with Discord funding. So it's another example. So like you can do this as long as you know a little bit of HTML and CSS. It's directly shipped. What else? Like you can see wallets. So I'm a bit doxing myself here, but like in donation, for example, in this example, I support Bitcoin and Litecoin. So like you can see my Bitcoin and Litecoin wallet for each stores. So yeah, it looks like this. So here, for example, there is like all my transaction. I can send money. I can rescan. It's a bit advanced. I won't talk about this. And actually, it's compatible with Ledger. So you just have in the store, you know, in the store setting that I showed you earlier. Like here, there is this XPub key. I didn't say anything about it, but basically, if you have a Ledger wallet, Ledger Nano S, you plug it directly to your PC, and it automatically detects it. So I have my Ledger here. Actually, I can show it quick, and I will tell you why it's important. So actually, it's one of the only way that exists today. Like, if you want to use your own Bitcoin wallet and not dox yourself to some centralized service that know all your UTXO set, actually this is very useful because BTCPay never, you know, use any external services to query your balance or stuff like this. So wait, tac. Okay. So like if you see it detected my wallet, and like he asked me like which account I want to use. So like this way there is no way like the user make any mistake, you know, in inputting this XPub key. And if you do this basically in wallets when you want to send some money, so this one for example, I don't have an address, but basically it will ask me to confirm on my ledger. So like my keys are never touching the server. Yeah?
Trezor, right? Trezor is to say you can connect Trezor.
I don't support Trezor now. I want to do it, it's just that I didn't have time, but it's in my mind. I want to support it later. I also want to support PSBT if some of you learn about it. It's like kind of a standard, a future standard for hard wallet. Basically, you can very easily use that, but right now there is only Ledger supported. If you don't want to use a Ledger, you can just use Electrum, and like with Electrum, you have a way to export this XPub key. You just copy here, and like you manage your wallet from your Electrum. You can do this as well. Yeah.
If you've got any XPub key, would that work, or you need the specific XPub key from Ledger?
Oh no, any XPub key works. Yeah.
And can you monitor multiple XPub keys at the same time?
So for one store, one pub key, because like the store like want to derive one address, so it only need to know like how do I derive this address. But you can do several stores if you want. So like, yeah. So what were you thinking by doing multiple?
I was thinking if I have like 3 hardware wallets, I have no way to sync them together, right? So.
Yeah, but so in this case you create several stores and you attach them to different wallets. In this case, there is no like kind of load balancing where you pick a random one. So basically, if you support several currencies, so for example, I support like Bitcoin, BTC, LTC, it's here that you can put several XPub, but it's for different currency basically. And here, like you have kind of interface to see your invoices. So like somebody here 1 hour ago gave me $5 donation, thanks. But if I click here, I will dox his email, so I prefer not to do it. Yeah, all right, we just, actually it's the dummy I created just before. I think it was here. It was me. Yes, it was me. So like you can see the invoice that got created, when it got created, you know, the rate. You can see this kind of thing. You can export all your invoice in CSV for your accountants, so to keep him happy. That's basically all the features you can have. And so when I created BTCPay, so for some of you might already know, but it was like 1.5 years ago when BitPay tried to do their B2X stuff. And basically, I was always very supportive of BitPay, and I advise lots of users to use BitPay, and lots of customers as well to use BitPay. So like when they decided to like fork all their client to a new currency, basically I just wanted to find for people that I advise an alternative to continue to use Bitcoin. So if you want to use programmatically BTCPay, the API is exactly the same as BitPay. Like if you have some code that works with BitPay, you just change the URL to point to your BTCPay server, like it will just work. It allows me basically to fork all their plugin. So like all their library and plugin, I could basically fork it, and I very easily, you know, like kind of bootstrapping lots of different tooling so people can use BTCPay.
Was that closed source code? So they had an open source Bitcoin library.
Yes.
JavaScript Bitcoin library.
Yes.
But I'm assuming they had closed source code. Using the merchant process.
Well, their closed source was basically the server side part, but everything that is like client side, they were just open sourcing it. So, like for example, their plugin for WordPress, PrestaShop, Magento, these kind of things. Yeah, you had a question? Oh, okay. So, yeah, so basically that's all the feature you got. And you have also a very interesting thing. So later I will show you if you install BTCPay with Lightning Network on it. Actually, if you want to try Lightning Network and operate your full node, the most easy way to get started is to deploy BTCPay, because when you deploy BTCPay, you also have your Lightning node that is bundled into it. And so here, like for example, you have access to some services that are attached to my BTCPay. So for example, here I have LND. So I can use this information to connect with. So I have a mobile app that I can very easily connect to my remote LND node and like operate it from my phone. So you can do these kind of things here. So yeah, I cannot show you the QR code because it's confidential. But like I click here and like there is a QR code and some connection string that I can use to connect my Zap wallets or like any mobile wallets directly to my Lightning node. So like, yeah, it's if you want to try Lightning, the easiest way to get started is to deploy BTCPay, and I will show you like in a moment how you deploy this kind of and demo how you can deploy BTCPay easily by yourself. Is there any question right now? Yeah.
Can you deploy the non-existing Lightning node?
You can, but it's pain in the ass. I will tell you why. So settings. Okay. So So yeah, this big warning is basically saying to everybody that Lightning is still in experimental phase and it's reckless to run it, and that they don't complain to me if they lose their money. But basically, you have in your store settings, you can set up your Lightning node, and for that you need to put what I call a connection string. And here I'm like describing what is a connection string. So like, if you have an LND node somewhere else and like you expose your gRPC port, you can just put your write this connection string. So basically it asks you the macaroon, the URL. It obliges you to be HTTPS, and I advise you as well to make it work HTTPS with a trusted certificate that you got from Let's Encrypt or something like this. So like it means that you need to correctly set up your LND node, which is quite difficult, I think. If you do it separately, it's quite difficult. On the other hand, if like you install your Lightning node within BTCPay, here you have a small link, like click here. It just set up directly the connection string that plugged to your internal Lightning node.
And this is setting up a website for your store. This is setting up a website for your store.
Yes. You mean this autofill?
So the TLS certificate you're getting is for your new website. You're setting up a website for your store.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will explain that a bit after what happened when you deploy BTCPay. So it's right now I just do a quick demonstration of like everything that you see when you have BTCPay installed, and I will explain you like what's going on under the hood basically. So yeah, what else? Yeah, you have also, if you want to put a easy donation button, embed a donation button on your page, like you have here, you can easily copy paste this code and like make it whatever size you want, and just copy this, and you're done. You have a donation button for your website. Yeah.
Just a general question: since you've launched BTCPay,
yeah,
have you had any feedback or correspondence from BitPay?
No. Complaint in your hands, like they never contacted me on anything. Maybe they will. I don't know. I'll see.
Is there any way they could be? You could use both, or is it like a direct? You use BTCPay Server or you use BitPay?
Well,
is there anything BitPay could offer to make BTCPay Server better?
So BitPay always offers the fiat conversion, which is something I can't do.
Yeah.
So it's an open source project. So if you want fiat, like we can't solve it. For people that really want fiat, for now I'm advising like I don't know CoinGate, Gluby. Like there is many payment processors that doesn't suck and that are not BitPay. I will advise them this. However, like one of the contributors, so Rockstar Dev, is and Cooks as well. They are working on a feature to plug your BTCPay to an exchange. So the idea is that on the exchange you have some reserve of money, like I don't know, like maybe 1 BTC. And when a customer pay you, like you receive a payment, you automatically sell on the exchange. So like it's what they call a float. And you sell directly on the exchange, and then later BTCPay forward the money to the exchange to like pump up the reserve. So basically the merchant always take a risk on this small reserve. There is people that suggested to use like BitMEX as well. Like for those you know, with BitMEX you can short Bitcoin. So like you get a payment and you short Bitcoin at the same time. So like you can hedge yourself, but like it's not everyday merchant that can do this. Yeah.
Does BTCPay support shitcoins?
Yeah, a lot. I will come to it. So we should, like you could see here, I was supporting Litecoin.
And Dogecoin.
Dogecoin is support, Monacoin as well. I will talk about this just after. So yeah, you can, like there is lots of features that come out of the box. And so it was a quick introduction, because basically what I want to show you today is like not only how to install your own BTCPay server, but like basically what's going on under the hood. So like you can customize it by yourself if you want to. So I won't do the whole presentation I did in Advancing Beacon because there is maybe some stuff that are too nitty-gritty. If you never try BTCPay, that might not be interesting for you at this point. Or maybe I will do it like in that accelerated way. Yeah, so when you deploy, first I will show you how a deployment of BTCPay look like before starting this. So, why do I still see my slide here? Right, I will close this. Okay. Hmm?
No, I was thinking it's a lot easier way to have your Lightning node properly work.
Yes, it's the most simple way. You won't find it easier than this. And
That's headache, of course.
I will show you first how to install it, okay? And then after I explain you what's going on under the hood. It's not very complicated, but so you understand this. So like at first when I start using BTCPay, I was advising people to host on Microsoft Azure. Why? Because actually Azure is one of the technology that I know a lot. Before I was like kind of Microsoft certified trainer. So like I was very fanboy of everything that Microsoft was doing. And I'm still are actually, except for some stuff. And the nice thing with Azure was that they had a very easy wizard. So like you could do your own service on Azure and like propose a wizard that everybody can use. So just to show you quickly, Azure BTCPay Server. So like if you wanted, we will not do this, but if you wanted to deploy on Azure, but there is this very easy button that you can push on. So like you connect to your Azure accounts. So like here it goes. Actually, you had, I will try to zoom a bit. So I could very easily do this sort of wizard. So here it's not very important what you put here, but just what you have to put is like if you want to be on mainnet, testnet, direct test, what shitcoin do you want, or if you want Bitcoin, what kind of Lightning implementation you want, and what repository you want to clone. So I will explain this later. And then you can just click purchase. And then like 10 minutes later, you have your BTCPay running. So I started by this. So it's pretty good, but there was one problem. The cost was $60 per month. So it's
60.
60, yeah, 60. There was a way to drop to 25, but like it was a bit of hacky because as some of you know, when you start having your Bitcoin node, you need to sync from the beginning of time. It takes lots of time. So basically it means that people needed to start BTCPay, sync everything, and then scale down the machine manually. So it was a bit techy. And worst thing is that this 25 euro instance was actually less performant. Even on the paper, actually on the paper it was better. But BTCPay ran better on a Raspberry Pi on 1 GB of RAM than it was running on this Azure server. So like it was very low-end server. Like Microsoft doesn't give a shit about this. So yeah, I stopped advising Azure. It was too expensive and not very good. So I was also there is another problem. Like if every person go to Azure to host their node. Then if one day Azure becomes compromised, then they might want to, okay, it's illegal to use Bitcoin, so like close all the services, so you never know. So it was a bit problematic, so I tried to find another hosting provider. I got advised Luna Node, so I I tried many actually. I tried Time for VPS, but they were missing Docker support. And the Luna node I was interested on, and we got very lucky because the Luna node peoples actually contacted us to like collaborate to make an easy experience, easy deployment experience for BTCPay. So like they work on a very easily wizard like I showed you before to integrate to their platform, and so people using them can easily deploy BTCPay. And the cool thing is that by using this, it costs $9.5 per month. So it's pretty cheap. Actually, you can even, I don't advise it right now, but the smallest instance is like $4.5 per month. Apparently, so one of the contributors, Bitcoin Shirt, tried, and it works, but I don't advise it because like it's, I'm worried that if you start having lots of traffic, then it starts shutting down. But theoretically, it works as well for 4.5. So here how it looks like. Okay, so the nice thing as well with Luna node is that they accept Bitcoin. The bad thing about Luna node is that they accept Bitcoin using BitPay. Okay. So I will try to change that with time, but like right now it still sucks. So I will show you another feature. Actually, it's a power feature of BTCPay that I almost never show to anybody. But imagine that you want to charge, $5 to your accounts. So you add credits. So when you click here to pay with BitPay, so you can use also the Pay Now button that is here. Wait, come on. It doesn't even work. Come on. Shit. Wait, maybe it's because it's not enough credits.
Or BitPay blocked.
Oh, BitPay blocked, yeah. They're in the room, like they say, this IP blacklist. Come on. Waiting for BitPay, it say. Or maybe my malware pop-up. Try to block it, I don't know. Let's see. Here. Actually, do I say something? Well, if it doesn't work, it's too bad, but we can do without. Gphone static, blah blah blah. No. BitPay.js. Okay, I have an idea. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Take that here. And I guess this is a. No. I wanted to show you, but actually, when you pay with BitPay, there is like a kind of invoice with a QR code that no wallet can read, and that sucks. Basically, BTCPay have secret features. You go on your BTCPay instance /translate. And so on this link, basically, if you have your BitPay invoice, you can fill it out here, and like it give you a QR code that is compatible with every wallet. So I coded that as well for myself because I needed it for paying Luna node. Too bad that it doesn't work. This one. Yeah. So actually, just the pop-up that doesn't work. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you pay your credits using here, and after you can create what we call an API key. So here, actually, I can remove the old one. But like I can create an API key, whatever name. After I create the API key, I can go on launch BTCPay lunanode.com. And it asks me basically my API key. So you just have to copy this string here and this string here. So like here, it's asking you if you have a domain name. If you don't have a domain name, then you need to configure your DNS. By default, you can have a domain name, so you don't have to do this, but I will show you if I want my own domain name, how should I do. So if I want my own domain name, I go here, click use my own domain name. You go to your DNS provider. Okay, BTCPay. Then DNS settings. It's a record. I will just add an entry. So, for example, London demo. They give me this IP address that I can use. So I copy here. Okay. Okay. So now I can use my own domain name. So London demo BTCPayServer.org. Oh no, what's this? Here. Okay. Then it's basically the same thing as Azure. It just asks me like mainnet, Lightning Network implementation. I will take, should I take LND? Yeah, I will take LND. If you have a SSH key as well, you can put it here to easily connect later. Actually, I will do it. Wait. You don't have to put your SSH key, but I will do it because later I want to show you some more detailed stuff. Okay, and that's about it. So that's about it. Launch. So now it's deploying my server. I will jump on some other topic because like it takes like 10 minutes to get my server started. So I will jump on another topic. But later we will come back on it. And it's basically that simple if you want to set up your own server. Okay, it takes like 10 minutes, so I will come back here. Yep.
So that's setting up or launching your BTCPay server on Lunanode. This is just a BTCPay server. I mean, your website, would you host somewhere else? Or
so here it's only BTCPay, so it's more than BTCPay Server actually. It's BTCPay Server, Bitcoin Core, LND, a bunch of services. And actually, for example, if you want your own WordPress WooCommerce store, for example, I will show you how you can easily deploy on it. But like, I need command line for this. There is no easy wizard for now. But it installs a bunch of stuff, and I will explain now in the slide basically all the pieces that can be done.
So you do it all on Lunanode?
Yes. Yeah.
For like $9 a month. Whatever.
Yes. Right. Yes. You can. So some people in general, they put BTCPay on the Lunanode and their own service of website on some other server that I don't know, some other server of their choice. But for example, if you just want to store, you can put WooCommerce on the same very easily. I will show you exactly how. But yeah, it's your choice basically. And what I will explain you, this is an example of Lunanode, but actually as long as you have a Linux distribution with SSH access, like it's 4 lines of code to deploy the same thing. And I will show you how. Okay. So here is actually when you are doing this wizard, what it does is like creating a new VM, okay, waiting it's provisionized, and then run this 3 line of code. So this is the most simplest deployment of BTCPay that can exist.
Can I go on straight?
Oh.
Can I do it as you speak? Or?
For now, I will explain everything, and then yeah, after if we have time, we'll do it on Raspberry Pi. But actually, this same line of code, yeah, on Raspberry Pi, it works. So like this line of code, as long as you are connected on internet, it will work. So you can try actually, yeah, it's, if you want to copy paste, you can do it. Though it works only on Raspberry Pi with ARM version 7.
Yeah, it's a new one.
Okay, so it will work. So you can try, but wait a moment, because the Raspberry Pi, because it doesn't have lots of memory, you have to put 2 options. One is pruning, so it doesn't take lots of space, and the other one is an option to save memory cache. So like it's changing Bitcoin Core configuration, so it's run on low cache, on low RAM, I mean. So just wait 2-3 slides, and I will just tell you the line of code. So yeah, basically that's it. So I clone a repository, then I set up an environment variable, and then I run BTCPay setup.sh. If you do this, it just set up BTCPay with Bitcoin Core and no Lightning, nothing. It just yeah, it basically installed this. So the WooCommerce is outside of the install, but like it installed everything that is in this box from Docker Compose. So it installed an Nginx server, so it's a reverse proxy. So it's the server that is handling HTTPS. It connects Nginx to Let's Encrypt. So like you can have a free certificate set up directly. It plugged it to BTCPay. BTCPay depends on PostgreSQL, so it creates the PostgreSQL. It connects to NB Explorer. So NB Explorer is a very easy to use block explorer that doesn't require you to index the whole blockchain. So it's a very simple project actually. It's show you a very easy API to query your wallet state or stuff like this. BTCPay itself has almost no crypto logic inside. All UTXO tracking and everything, it's NB Explorer. And your NB Explorer is connecting to your Bitcoin Core directly. So yeah, it's what you get. So if you want to add some shitcoins, you just like one line like this, you know, like you add BTCPay, Crypto 1, BTC 2, LCC, Doggy. Yeah. By the way, I'm coming back. I'm a Microsoft guy, so by the time I created this, actually, I didn't know that Bash had arrays, so that's why it's like it's like this. And now, because of backward compatibility, I cannot get it off. Yeah, sorry, you had a question?
So the architecture that you had in the previous diagram,
yeah.
That connects to Bitcoin Core. So if you support in any of the other currencies, do you have a library where you query the
yes.
As it does with
so here is what you got. So basically, this block explorer, it can connect directly to several like full nodes, and it works as long basically that they are a fork of Bitcoin, because like I'm connecting to peer-to-peer and to RPC. So as long as it supports the same code as I want, that most shitcoin does, it just works. I don't spend time supporting shitcoin. Actually, it's like shitcoiners that support themselves, and when they say, oh, it's ready to be merged, I just merge them and I don't test. So like if BTCPay doesn't work with a shitcoin, go to ask them directly. On my side, I don't really care. Like I only test on Bitcoin Core. I test as well on Litecoin because of the feature for several cryptocurrency. I need another one, a dummy cryptocurrency, to know if it works, if Litecoin works. But else, I don't test anything else. So yeah, it's basically how it works.
This is all run on a Docker container?
Yes.
Are there security concerns with running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you are concerned of security, don't use shitcoin. But
no. So even with Bitcoin Core, the Bitcoin Core is running on a Docker container, right?
Yeah.
Are there any work concerns running financial software?
So it's not a problem for BTCPay because basically all your you configure in general your wallets is handled by hardware wallets or with Electrum, so you don't care. But if you are using Lightning Network, yes, it's a problem. So that's why I put big warning in the Lightning Network page that don't be reckless, because actually, yes, like Lightning, if you use Lightning, basically it's a hot wallet. If you get compromised, yes, your money is gone. But if you use only Bitcoin on chain, you don't care because like they don't have my server don't even have the private keys, so nothing can happen very bad. For shitcoin, there is a security risk for shitcoin because like I say, I don't test it. So maybe one of them will crash the server, I don't know. For now, it works fine. And also, if you want several shitcoin, because it's a full node every time, it means that you need bigger bigger machine, basically. I don't support two things. I don't support Bcash and I don't support Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. Bcash is because I don't want to have to deal with a shitstorm on Twitter if I added one day. And BSV is just that it might never work with 128 megabyte block, and Big Explorer is not done for this. Yeah.
Have you had any PRs for Bitcoin Cash?
No. they never did it. Actually, I told them like you can do it like if you want, but they never did it. I guess they will fork it, and I encourage them to do so. You know, at least it put some weight, off my shoulder. But yeah, else there is like there is BTC, LTC, Dogecoin, Bitcoin Gold, Grocery Coin, FTC, Viacoin, Bitcore, Monacoin, and Dash, and Bitcoin. Add C-Lightning, for example, like it's one line. As you can see, you want a C-Lightning implementation, just one line. If you want LND, it's one line as well. You know, it's like BTCPay Chain Lightnings, LND. So if you add LND here, if you add like C-Lightning, for example, like in this example, what it will set up is a Lightning charge server. So for those of you that might know, it's like a very easy API on top of C-Lightning that some plugin use. So for example, if you want to use a WordPress with a paywall plugin, actually there is a paywall that directly connects to Lightning charge. So like you can have put very easily paywall on WordPress. There is a Spark wallet. Spark wallet is like I think it's done in React. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, I think it's React. It's a React wallet that you can open directly through your browser or from your phone. It's very handy. And there is C-Lightning that is deployed as well. So like very easy to set it up.
There are some people working on like hardware wallets for Lightning. So eventually, potentially you'll have hardware wallets for Lightning, and then at least you'll have your keys outside of the container.
Yeah, so I'd like this. So here's the thing. When you want to operate a Lightning node, basically you always want to be able to sign. The reason is that you want to route payments, or like when people want to send you some money, you need a signature somewhere. So like I guess the interesting thing will be a hardware wallet that only sign transactions that give you more money. But I'm not sure how far they are at this stage on this.
Still very
yeah, I think we're still far from this. I will say for Lightning, don't be reckless. Like don't put your life saving on it right now. And I think this problem won't be resolved very soon. I think it would take maybe 1 or 2 years. And on top of this as well, there is like if you lose a server, you cannot back up Lightning for some technical reason. If you back up and restore, it's dangerous. So like it's very right now. Don't be reckless. So On top of C-Lightning, actually, you can add like some feature on top of it. There is, for example, there is two other products that you can use on top of BTCPay, is like WooCommerce. So if you add this line here, it will bring up WooCommerce website as well directly inside the Docker Compose. There is also LibPatron that is created by Jeff. It's another contributor that is doing his own project that he wants to replace Patreon, having an option only with Bitcoin, and it's like relying to accept payment on BTCPay. So you can add this. And you can add also a bunch of options. I won't go through all the options, but for example, here I'm saying, oh, I want to add WooCommerce, I want to add LibPatron, I want to add another plugin. This is a QuickBook plugin for those that use QuickBook. You have several different options, and one of the options, I will come back to this slide. Ah, shit. Ah, no, it's not good. So there is lots of options, and one of the options, if you are using Raspberry Pi, so it's this line, if you are using a Raspberry Pi, this line is important. You have one option that is called OPT save memory. So it will set up Bitcoin Core to take very little RAM. And you have also OPT storage, save storage. And save storage, basically you can prune your Bitcoin node. So like it doesn't take more than say 20 gigabytes. So yeah.
Does it allow Lightning to work?
Yes. So it works with Lightning. So I tried on Raspberry Pi, 1 gigabyte Raspberry Pi with those two options. BTCPay with only Bitcoin Core and LND, it worked. And it was kind of stable actually. I was pretty surprised.
But I'm just thinking, if you have like more than 20 gigabytes of blocks from the time when you created your Lightning wallet, you wouldn't be able to.
Yes. So but Lightning, in theory, doesn't like in officially they don't support pruning.
Yeah.
But the only reason they say this is because if you start Bitcoin Core and then at the same time you start your Lightning wallets, if your Bitcoin Core syncs faster than your Lightning can, then you get a problem and it starts crashing. But actually, BTCPay waits that the Bitcoin full node is fully synced before starting C-Lightning or LND. So when you start LND, of course, it cannot restore what happened before. And you have another problem as well in Lightning. You know, for Lightning, you need a map of all the channels that exist to route your payments. And if you don't have all block, the old channel, you cannot verify them. But for a merchant, actually, it's not very useful to have the maps because merchants never route payments, they only receive. It's always the sender that want to have the route, not the receiver. So like, as far as the merchant is concerned, it just works. It's not a big deal. Okay? So yeah, I never, officially speaking, LND and C-Lightning tell me like it's not very supported, but it works. And if it doesn't work, I just ping them and they fix it. So it's fine. So yeah, so for example, in this example, like I'm using two plugins by Jeff. He didn't decide about a logo on this project, but yeah, there is like LibPatron, there is a QuickBook plugin, and like as you can see, like the WooCommerce like moved inside the Docker Compose here. So yeah, what is cool is that BTCPay is very flexible. It supports shitcoins. It allows third party to benefit from easy deployment. So for example, WooCommerce or like Jeff can easily do their own like projects that are completely detached from BTCPay, but still rely on this very simple deployment system. But what is not cool, and I should fix the grammar here, is that BTCPay is not flexible enough for everyone. Some people don't like that it supports shitcoins. Yeah, one of the biggest issues actually is that you trust me as the owner of the BTCPay server repo. Okay, as you remember, there's 3 command lines when you start it. Like you have the git clone, you set up your environment variable, and then you set up. So yeah, you trust me as the owner of this repo. But the interesting thing is that you can fork this repo. Yeah, is there any question here?
Next slide, actually. So why don't you support another shitcoin for two bitcoins or 10 bitcoins?
For what?
Why don't you support another shitcoin for 2 bitcoins?
For 2 bitcoin, you mean?
Yeah, they will pay you 2 bitcoins.
Ah, okay. Oh, I will do it. so here is the thing. Like the shitcoins, like on my side, I don't work for shitcoin. I don't give a shit about shitcoins. When they tell to me, oh, can you add the support of shitcoin 2.0? Basically, I say no, I can't, and like I redirect them on the documentations. If they really insist, so there is 2 ways. Either I tell them, okay, but like you have to pay a high price and do it to me, or I just redirect to some other contributor that wants some cash. Yes, I will do it. But I don't really care, and like it's clear that I won't support it. Like if I break it, I won't do any effort to fix it, basically. My only goal is for bitcoins. Yeah?
I'm just trying to work this out. I'm no expert, I'm no developer, I'm no coder, but how is there any functionality that would, let's say I own a coffee shop and I just put up a physical sign saying, you know, accept Bitcoin. Is there any way that someone can come in and not just, as it were, with some kind of RFID device, just tap and go?
Yeah, so actually it's one of the features I didn't show. So like in the apps, I show you the donation page, but actually we have a point of sale donation cart with a cart. I will show you. So like if you have a physical store, you can use this point of sale that is already developed inside, that you can customize the design and everything. Basically, like you can put everything, and when the customer is ready to pay, there is confirm. Like you can put a tip or whatever and pay. Yeah, you can do that already directly onto this. If you want more flexibility, as I said, BTCPay is basically exposing the same API as BitPay, so you can do your own app that just call this API to create invoice.
But can I circumvent the fiat with that? Can I go off grid for fiat? Can I just stick to the Bitcoin only? Is there a conversion process?
In BTCPay, so I don't handle fiat at all. But like you mean for the invoice, you want the invoice like to be denominated in BTC?
Yeah. I just want to put my coffee as a Bitcoin price. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, of course. There is so in your store settings. So in your store settings, in the checkout experience. Oh no, actually it's not there. It's not here. It's like in the API when you create a new invoice, there is a currency field, and if you say currency BTC, it works. So like imagine that I create an invoice here real quick, like 100. Here instead of USD I put BTC, and I just created it. So like you can see, it's directly BTC.
And then what would I use physically to tap? So that would it be QR code enabled, for example? Like would a QR code suffice?
This one. Yeah.
Done. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is this, and it also supports Lightning. So like for this Lightning, you didn't see Lightning here because it's too expensive. But like imagine I put.
It'll be a very expensive coffee, by the way.
Yeah. Like this one, I think it will be better.
Yeah.
Okay. So here you can see Lightning. So now the customer can just scan this and pay it.
Just some feedback on that battle finding how to pay with Lightning. It's not that intuitive as in how do I do Lightning.
Oh, what? Sorry.
I battled for about 20 minutes and kept. I just had the standard Bitcoin run. You could do Lightning, so it's not that intuitive.
This button you mean here?
Yeah, button,
yeah. So actually,
you know that you've got to click on that to get Lightning.
Yes, I agree. Actually, there is a issue on the GitHub for this, and yeah, we need to fix it. Yeah, I know. Lots of people complain about it.
I battled a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. So like here.
You don't say it's fine. It's great.
Yeah, we need to fix it. Actually, it's just the button, like it's like too light, I think.
Or just side by side. So
yeah, or side by side. But like the side by side is that here we can have like so many shitcoins, so side by side it doesn't scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, we.
Is there an option to have it in Satoshis? Is there an option to have it in Satoshis?
That
the Lightning stuff pretty small.
Good question. Actually, no. But it's good feature proposal. Yeah. Because it might be very useful in like maybe 1 year after the bull run. Maybe we'll stop using BTC. But no, yeah, right now we can't. But yeah, it will be great to do it. And also another thing, but yeah, right now we're still not here. We cannot pay under 1 Satoshi, but like in Lightning, in theory, you can pay under 1 Satoshi. So one day I will have to change this as well. We still have long time ahead. Milli-Satoshi is called.
Which Lightning implementation do you use as the default if someone just wants to do the
by default, I don't use Lightning. If you don't put anything, there is no Lightning selected. You have to specify C Lightning or Lightning.
You have to make that.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know if, does it work with blocks only? Bitcoin Core is the blocks only option.
So yes, you can. But the problem with blocks only is that if the customer pay, he won't see the payment until the block is received.
So it's mined. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
and
problematic.
The invoice may time out.
Yes.
It's only 15 minutes.
Yes. So the invoice timeout, you can configure it as well. If you want.
You're working on permanent invoices, is that right? Is that what you said in the book?
Oh yeah, actually it will be released once I go back in Tokyo and I review his pull request. It's ready actually. Like you will have a page with permanent invoice. Yeah, it will come. It's finished. I just need to review it actually.
0 invoices? 0 invoices?
0 invoices?
0 invoices?
The permanent invoice stuff?
Yeah, can you 0 invoice as in people make a tip?
You can't, but like if you make an invoice with 1 Satoshi, basically anything it pays fine. Okay. Because you can pay more actually. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
So basically, I got very often like some people ask me, "Oh, can you support shitcoin?" And sometimes people are very angry. Why you support fraudcoin or whatever? Well, the main reason is that I don't really care of adding shitcoin or not, as long as it doesn't take my time to support. Like in BTCPay, when there is a shitcoin added, actually there is no code path specific to one shitcoin. It's all the same. So like as long as they do the work that Dockerize everything, it's just plug and play. Yeah.
One more question: have you got any reason why you wouldn't develop a BTCPay wallet for consumer? The purchaser?
A bit because I don't have time. So you can use BTCPay as a wallet. Like I show you, there's one part in the screen where you can see your wallet, your transaction, receive and send. But like it's not like a mobile app or anything. Just because I don't have time to do it. You can use BTCPay from your wallet, from your phone, of course. But like the UI is not as good as a native app, of course. But yeah, I will like it, like having because actually using BTCPay for receiving payments is one of the most easy way to receive payment without leaking anything anywhere. Like, I'm never using an external block explorer for anything. So yeah, recently there has been as well Cooks. So Cooks is a developer that deployed the crowdfunding app, that did the crowdfunding app. And the second crowdfunding he tried is like a crowdfunding for adding Ethereum support. And basically, yeah, lots of angry people on Twitter about this. So for example, for Ethereum and Ripple and Monero on my side, I don't want to integrate it. It's just simply because it's pain in the ass to support. Like shitcoin are not pain in the ass. Shitcoin is like, everything is like Bitcoin, so the code path is always the same. Like it doesn't take me any work. But like Monero, Ripple, Ethereum are so different design that it will require so many code change for something I don't really care. So in general, I say, okay, like you can do this if you want to raise money to add support, okay, but like it won't be merged in the main branch. But I encourage people, if people really want Ethereum and want to do something, they should be able to easily fork and do their own stuff if they want. So yeah, on my side, shitcoins are okay. No controversial shitcoins, as long like Bitcoin Cash and BSV. If you want your own shitcoin, like there is a list of what you need to integrate. There is unit test everywhere, so like you can very validate if you did it right. We only test on Bitcoin. We don't really care if we broke something on the shitcoin. If you are doing your own shitcoin, you are responsible to fix it and to maintain it. If it doesn't work, I will just remove it. And if you're not happy with it, then it's Bitcoin, just fork yourself. And I just put the command line to do it. So actually, BTCPay, for example, forked it. I don't know if anybody used it, but they did it. I think there is Grosselcoin that did it as well. Well, there is Eski for his third-party BTCPay wanted to customize the design of the page to put his own color and stuff like this. He forked BTCPay, and he's like merging like every once in a while the new change on his branch. So it's very easy. Any question here? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to do it on a Raspberry Pi, I guess you would host your website somewhere else.
No, you host it. You host it on the Raspberry Pi. So here is the trick. So my main concern about Raspberry Pi is for users, it's pretty hard in the sense that when you plug the Raspberry Pi, you need to know what is the IP of your Raspberry Pi. So like it's a user, it's problematic for the user. It's hard. And the second thing is that some users don't know how to configure their router to have the incoming traffic, and some users don't have fixed IP. So that's my main problematic right now for Raspberry Pi. Like if you're technical enough, like it's a 3 line of code that I show you, it just works. But you still need to like point your DNS name, open the ports, and do these kind of things. So I was thinking for Raspberry Pi, but it's not yet. I mean, it will take time before I finish this. But I was thinking, like there is internet here, like there is a home of some person here, where when they receive their Raspberry Pi, they plug it to their local network here. And I was thinking to have a system, but I'm still early on my thinking, in some data center, where this data center is basically just a SSH, just setting up a SSH reverse tunnel. So the idea is that if you plug your Raspberry Pi to internet, automatically it will create a tunnel, SSH tunnel, to this server, and then this will become like your fixed public IP with some domain name. I think it will be the easiest way to get it set up. And then if ever like they censor you or whatever, you don't really care because all your data is on the Raspberry Pi. I was thinking of this, but I'm still very early on my thinking on this. Some people, yeah.
If you have a problem with IP addresses that aren't static, implementing privacy stuff like Dandelion, would that be a...
Dandelion?
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 Yeah.
Yeah, you mean, oh, okay, for broadcasting transaction, you mean?
Yeah.
So Dandelion is for broadcasting transaction and not revealing the source of it. Yeah. It's not very problematic because your Bitcoin node is connecting outside of the network. Okay. So like you don't really care, it just works. what is problematic is like incoming traffic. So like basically there is two incoming traffic. There is HTTPS to BTCPay, HTTP to get the certificate. Actually, you also need it, and you need lining. I don't remember the port, but you need lining. So like you need DOS setup. Yeah.
If you solve that, you should patent it because the IoT community will have it all day long.
Sorry, say again?
If you solve that, you should make a patent because the IoT community will be on that.
Ah, yeah. Well, I mean, like SSH reverse tunneling for solving this kind of problem is already well known. The main hard thing is like, how can you do it as easily as possible? Like, if you make a box, how do you make it so that it can automatically connect to this server? And without this server becoming central point of failure. So right now I'm still worried, for example, on BTCPay because lots of people are using Luna Node. If tomorrow Luna Node go down, like there's so many merchants that will be have problems. So yeah, it kind of problem that can come with this.
How does the Casa node get around this? Casa node. How does it get around this?
Casa hold? Yeah. I think the way they solve it is with a very good tutorial and explaining people how to open ports on their router. But like it's such a pain in the ass, you know, like lots of problem on this. Yeah.
Sure. If you're running LND on that, when you first initialize a wallet, it asks you to enter a password.
Yeah.
Every time you restart, you have to enter a new one.
Yeah. So
you store the password in clear text on the server.
Yes.
How does BTCPay Server?
So no seed backup. So yeah. So like I deactivate this. There is no password, or actually the default one is a hello, I think. But yeah, now there is no password, and right now there is no way to backup.
I have had a Lightning device stolen. I had a password on it, so obviously whoever stole it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's problematic, but then if you put a password, the problem is that if your server goes down for a short period of time, or if you make an update, then you need to remember that you need to enter your password somewhere to unlock it, and we don't do this now. Yeah, I remove completely. And one of the reasons is that I don't want to spend too much time like making implementation specific features. I'd like that it just work with LND and C-Lightning. And if you want specific features, basically I'm trying to expose. So for example, if you are using LND, I'm exposing on internet, I'm exposing gRPC and REST. So like if you have your own wallet, you can directly connect to it. But I don't want in BTCPay to have like too much logic specific to one implementation. So that's why I don't do it. Yeah.
So how hard it is? I'm not sure if I understood very well about how you configure your wallets in your server, right? So how hard would it be for someone to hack into your server and change your wallets for other wallets?
Yeah. So this is the only attack that can happen is that your server gets compromised and your address gets switched.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Okay.
So it's possible. There is nothing really to prevent this. But on the upside, like you cannot lose tons of money. Like you will see it very easily. Like after one day, you will see.
Receiving it
yeah.
Wallet as well, right?
Yeah.
So people are paying and not receiving.
Yes. So you will see it. You will see it fast. Yeah.
And do you have any idea how many merchants are using BTCPay number?
So, good question. So we don't like track anything. So my wild guess. So for example, on the slide there is like 1,100 people, something like this. I know that Eski, that is a third-party servers that hosts a third-party BTCPay. He has like you said 450 like people using it. I will say maybe that have their own server. I would say maybe 1,000 person, but once again I have no way of knowing how many people are really using it. Yeah.
Is anyone being censored on Pantry reaching out to you
to set up a BTCPay?
Yes, yes, it happened. Like there was one of big users has been Gab.com.
Yeah.
So Gab.com got censored, so they become very fan of BTCPay. I think I got one sex worker as well. Like she was using like a membership framework that is called a member. I don't know. It's called. It's PHP kind of things, and she paid like developers in a member to add a plugin that can connect to BTCPay, so she can receive payments. It's not released yet, but I saw somebody that was trying to do a crowdfunding on like a strip poker or something like this. I don't know, but like I guess it's kind of the target that will get a very hard time to get any account anywhere else. So yeah, it's coming. Yeah, they are coming. Yeah.
Taxation. Are there any been taxation investigations into like Bitcoin? Do you know?
So there is the only tax feature there is in BTCPay is when you create an invoice, you can put the amount of tax there is in this invoice, and when you export your invoices, so you can export it in CSV file, and so you can see like the total of amount of taxes for all of your invoices.
But what if I keep it in Bitcoin? Am I tax liable at the moment, for example?
He's not a tax accountant.
Yeah.
The UK, they've published a tax guide in terms of cryptocurrency that was published in December.
Thanks.
On UK.gov.
Does it support any kind of high availability deployment? Let's say, for example, you've got, of course, one landline at home, and but of course you want to have availability.
So I know that in the Slack, I don't remember who exactly, but there is some people that try to add a high availability, and the way they did that, if I remember, so myself I didn't do it because I want to focus on individual hosting their own, but the way they did it is that I don't have time to go too much into the detail of how it works behind the scene, but basically, when you run BTCPay install, and I generate a Docker Compose file, and this Docker Compose file, basically, it's a version 3, so like it's compatible with Swarm, Docker Swarm. So like you can, for example, have multiple Bitcoin core, for example, and I know somebody did it, but I don't know enough myself. I never tried myself, but I know that some people try to do it. So some stuff that you can do, maybe.
Because the idea is, of course, machines require some downtime if you have to update them or any issue for whatever reason. So if it's not just in cloud, if it's local or not physical device, how can you do?
So the update process is has very low downtime by default. So the reason is that the update process is very simple. Git pull to get the latest version. I run a command line to regenerate the Docker Compose, and I do Docker Compose up. And Docker Compose up actually detects like which container got impacted by an update, and only restart this one. So like if you restart, for example, BTCPay, so if you update BTCPay, the downtime is maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. If you are in a big enterprise environment and you really don't want downtime, and you want like to have 2 instances and like update one and then make the switch after. I don't know myself. I don't really know how to do it. I'm not that good of a DevOps, but theoretically it's possible. But yeah, it's not on what I focused.
What you focusing on?
So recently, there's things that I want to get done, but I don't know how much time it will take. So Trezor support, I really want to do. Cross-chain atomic swap. Actually, I have a branch where I did like some cross-chain atomic swap feature. It's not ready, so I didn't release it yet, but it's on the repo actually. But like, it's very easy. If you and me agree directly in peer-to-peer that I exchange you Litecoin against Bitcoin, actually the protocol for making it securely without trusting each other is quite simple. And I want to integrate that into BTCPay. I want to add another shitcoin as well, LBTC. So liquid from BTC, yeah.
So what about multi-sig support? Multi-sig?
So actually it already supports, so BTCPay already support multi-sig in the sense of, you know, when you set up your store, wait. So when you set up your store, here. So actually, here I told you it's an XPub key, but actually you can put several. You can put a multisig here. Instead of a XPub key, you can say 2 of XPub key 1, XPub key 2. You say if it's P2SH, if it's SegWit or whatever, and actually the address received, the address that will receive the money will be a multisig address. What is not implemented yet is spending from multisig, and I want to do it as well, but it's in the same batch as PSBT support that I want to do. So recently there has been lots of discussion about PSBT. It's like a standard for representing partially unsigned transactions and how to pass it around across several peers. I want to integrate this as well. But right now, if the only thing you want is receiving on multisig, you can, but you just cannot spend from BTCPay Server. Yeah.
Do you support BEC32 addresses?
Yes. Yes. You just put. So by default, so if you put only your XPub, actually by default it's SegWit. So if you want to increase your support, you add P2SH and it's SegWit P2SH. So like yeah, it's you can use legacy or like whatever you want. Yeah. Any question? Yeah.
Will you have available also deployment template for other cloud providers like Google or AWS?
So there is. So for Google Cloud, there is a repository under GitHub that do this. But actually, you know, there is like for all deployments, it's always the same thing. It's like the git clone, the setup of environment variable, and the BTCPay setup. So it's like, yeah, it's all the same. The only thing that is not available, I think, is like the easy wizard, you know. But it's actually there is a Mr. Cooks, one of the contributors, that is working on a sort of universal deployment wizard that just remote connect to SSH and run the command line for you. It's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got another question. So with the Docker installation that you've got, it's got the core chain on there. If you wanted to connect it to a separate, outside of the environment of where you've set up the server, say for example you've got the node at home or on a different server, can you connect through it that way?
So so you can do this theoretically. So when you run this setup, it generates a Docker Compose file. Like in theory, there is nobody that can prevent you just to take this Docker Compose file and like, you know, change it to your need. Like in this Docker Compose file, you have all the configuration of all the ports of the system, so like you can put it to whatever you want. But the downside is that actually in BTCPay you have a button to update your server, and the update, what it's doing is like it's calling BTCPay update.sh on the server, And BTCPay update.sh is pulling from the repository, regenerating the Docker Compose and running Docker Compose again. So like if you made changes, then this gets overwritten. So like that, you can do it, but it means that then you are responsible to make your own updates.
So if you fork it and then do the modifications.
Yeah. You can just fork it. Yeah, of course.
Have you looked at any services that provide static IP addresses? Could that be, like, if there was a good service out there, like Let's Encrypt for TLS certificates, could you integrate a process of getting a static IP address into this?
I would like, but I thought a lot about it, but I have no idea how to do. Like, I know a friend that is kind of a ISP. Like he has his own block of IP address, and we were trying to think about ways to do this kind of stuff. And actually, he said the simplest way is to do this kind of stuff, where he has his server in his data center that is directly plugged and receiving the IP address, the packet that is directly plugged to internet, and just like reverse tunneling like this.
But this is best for like censorship resistance. If you're not worried about censorship, just think about convenience. Is this still the best solution?
Well, so even for censorship resistance, it's not perfect because this guy can still cut you off. One of the way I will solve everything, but it's not really ready for mainstream yet, it's just using Tor. So if Tor was widespread, basically like Lightning already support Tor, like instead of having the Nginx on the middle, I just put a Tor proxy and like it will just work. But the problem is that the customer that go to your web store, you need to show them a HTTPS page. So Tor will be the easiest way, but it's not mainstream. Yeah.
You say you had a friend with IP addresses. This is kind of a non-trivial process to set up, at least with the data center. But what was the reason you decided not to prioritize it? Is it time or is it?
Well, one of the reasons is that my friend was saying, I could do this, but if I do this and I'm the only one doing it, basically like I'm still a central point of failure. Like if he start getting complaint from the government because some stores are not politically correct, then he will just shut it down. I would love, my best, so in the best world, what will be able to happen is that this box has Lightning Network as a Lightning Network node pre-funded, and then it could directly pay some IP providers, like I don't know, by the day, like every day it pays for his IP, and then it just work. But like there's so many, right now the infrastructure is not here for this. So yeah, I'd like to make it as simple as possible, but I'm still wondering how to, stick everything together.
Any other questions?
The question?
I'll ask one final one. Do you think this is, so like I've looked into OpenBazaar quite a bit over the last couple of years. Do you think, have you looked into IPFS as a potential solution, and where do you think? So
IPFS, I'm not familiar with it. So what is it? Is it the file system, distributed file system stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different model to BTCPay Server because you're not required to put up the server yourself. You're using IPFS as a substitute, basically. Okay. Well, I'm not too sure because like. So some services that lots of regulators don't like, say Pirate Bay, for example. With this model, they managed to escape for quite a long time. Like they have their server that is somewhere, and basically the front server is like reverse tunneling to the main server, and like if the regulator like catch this server, then they just jump in another jurisdiction. So like I think if really you want to escape like censorship, this model might work. It's true that you still need like some technical skill to set it up, but it's kind of, like if really they are after you, I guess you have like some minimum technical skill to get rid of it. But like, yeah, it's not for everybody, yeah, of course.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.